Hey, my name is Noel, and this past winter, me and my friend got to lead a team out to Nepal. And during the second half of outreach, we spent our time in the southern part of Nepal, and we started doing a lot of village-to-village ministry, where we would go to areas where they haven't heard of Christ, and we just worship, share the gospel, share some testimony, and just love on people. And a significant time during the outreach was during the last 2 weeks, we started going, overtime on ministry. We would just do ministry day after day after day after day without any breaks. And that kind of just started taking a toll on us. We started feeling kind of burnt. And on one of these days that stood out to me, we went to a couple houses, and the first two houses we went to, we just did our normal schedule where we would go, we would sing a song, we would tell our testimony, then we'd go to the next place. And the first two houses, we were just looking at each other, we're like, dude, I'm so tired, I can barely walk right now, I'm exhausted. And then we finally get to this third house, and we were doing our normal schedule. We sang a song, and then one of our guys started telling his testimony. And when his testimony ended, this older lady in the audience of about 30 Nepalis stood up, and she was like, hey, can I tell my testimony? We look at each other, we're like, you know what, go for it. And so this lady, I don't know her name, but I call her Deborah. She starts telling a story about how she used to be demon-possessed, and she had a terminal illness that was messing with her body, so her arms would always be crossed around her chest. And when she would try to uncross it, it would cause her a ton of pain. But she would force her arms to be uncrossed just to hold her baby every day. And basically, she went to the doctors, and the doctor said, hey, you have about 3 months to live. And she was just kind of feeling downhearted, so she tried everything. She went to witch doctors, she tried a bunch of medicines, even went to the most expensive doctors. None of that worked. All throughout this time, her body's just deteriorating. She couldn't even walk anymore, so they're carrying her everywhere. And the villagers started planning her funeral. And during the week she was supposed to die, a bunch of missionaries came and started sharing the gospel, and she heard about it, and she was like, you know what? I don't have any other options. Let's give this Jesus thing a try. So the missionaries prayed for her. She accepted Christ. On the day of her funeral, she didn't go. And she says she was running around the streets like crazy, dancing and laughing. And the villagers all saw it, and they're like, yo, what happened? Whatever you found, it worked. The coolest part of this whole thing was that when we were telling our stories to these villagers, they were just kind of nodding their head like, yeah, that's a cool story, I get it, that's really cool. But now when Deborah's telling her story, they're going crazy, they're hyping her up, they're like, dang Deborah, get it, you're killing it. And Deborah's like mean mugging it now, she's like, yeah, I got healed, what you know about that, And like she's getting hype, I'm getting hype. And I look into the audience, and I swear I see God just clapping. I'm like, dude, Deborah, don't forget to tell that one part. I love it when you tell that one part of the story, And what's cool about when she told her story was when she got to the part about how her arms were always crossed because of the disease, I kind of just got this mental image of the enemy having chains wrapped around her body so her arms couldn't uncross. And she said she would only uncross her arms so she could hold her child. And for me, the child kind of represents new life. So I kind of felt like God was saying the enemy's chains broke off when she was holding new life. She finished the story, and we're looking at each other, we're like, dude, I was tired, but I feel so good right now. I'm like, not gonna lie, I wanna go to like 5 more houses, man. Like, I don't even need sleep, I don't need food, I could walk like a ton more miles, dude. I'm ready to go. And so one of the most tiring days of outreach just turned into the best day of outreach.